So I want to keep it short and sweet. Since you mentioned the incubators, let's just start there. The innovation programs that we have, I had the great honor, and I had to thank the county executives team, Ken and Judy, alongside with central staff, Bilal, who's here. We really took a deep dive, ensuring that we understood what Montgomery County is doing in terms of innovation. We keep saying that we want to be number one in the nation on life sciences. Well, that takes effort, that takes investment. And by looking at what other places in the state were doing on this area, it really was an eye opener. And that led us to this huge victory of getting $2 million to really emphasize the work that we're doing with incubators, especially now when we have so many people being laid off by the federal government. We cannot afford to lose our talent. We cannot afford to have people who have been laid off from NIH and NOAA and so on leave Montgomery County. So I have a lot of faith that the work that we're doing, the investment that we're doing through this budget is gonna really help us move along in the whole idea of creating more jobs. So that's one thing that I want to say. The second thing, and as you all know, I don't read. I speak from the heart. I can never read. The second thing because I get confused. The second thing I wanted to mention, it's on housing. If you look at the data, we all understand that the group of folks who are leaving Montgomery County are young professionals. Okay, that goes side by side with the whole intention and idea of making sure talent remains in Montgomery County. So in order for us to also ensure that our talent remains in Montgomery County, we must increase housing options in Montgomery County. We have to protect our renters, but we also need to invest in creating more housing types, especially near transit. And I think this budget speaks to that investment, and I'm very proud of it. So that's the second thing. The third thing, Council Vice President Will Yawondo mentioned this, is the Sports Tourism Task Force. It's the Economic Development Committee in coordination with Education and Culture Committee. We came together to see, what are the needs in Montgomery County in relation to sports. And when I talk about sports, I'm not just talking about people who play sports, but I'm also talking about the science that gets involved. Yes, you love playing soccer, that's beautiful, but you need to understand the science involved to maintain a soccer field, right? And for that to happen, we are working closely with Montgomery College, MCPS. We created this task force, and the next step for this task force is analyzing and creating a feasibility study to see where we can have a multi-use facility that really speaks on this sports industry environment that we're talking about, but also can fit other needs that we have as a county. For example, do you know that if you are graduating from high school in Montgomery County, your graduation doesn't really happen in Montgomery County. It happens in other places because we don't have the space to hold high school graduations. They happen in Baltimore, they happen in DC, they happen in Howard County. It's really shameful. So this multi-use facility that the Sports Industry Task Force is looking at is also going to accommodate that use. And I'm very excited that this council say yes in supporting that. So that's the second thing, or maybe third at this point, that I wanted to mention. The other thing was with WorkSource Montgomery. It has been said already, but WorkSource Montgomery is honestly a jewel. I mean, I am so proud of the work that they do, helping people and connecting them to jobs, but also training them to get into those jobs. Now that we are facing all the layoffs that we're having from the federal government, they needed more love to be ready, and we're giving them that love through this budget with $700,000. We're gonna keep an eye on that one to ensure that they have the support they need to succeed. And then the last thing I'm gonna say very quickly, yes, we're approving a budget, but I am very, very concerned for next year's budget and the one right after that one. I am telling you, I I'm one of those folks who is not afraid to say when it comes to reductions that we need to make, we are gonna have to make them because there's no choice. So get ready. It's not gonna be as nice as you see it today. What's gonna happen next year? Just because we're not getting the funds that we are normally getting from the federal government or even the state. So I'm sorry to end on this note, but it's reality, and so I look forward to continuing the partnership to ensure that we do the right thing for our people, but also at the same time doing it in a fiscally responsible way because there's just no other way to do it. Thank you.